What is up, Bitcoiners? This is CK Snarks with Bitcoin Magazine, and we have an awesome new how-to video for you guys. We are going to be walking through the Specter Wallet by Crypto Advanced. This is the one-stop shop multi-sig and personal sovereignty wallet that you could ever want. It is finally here. All of the features that hardcore Bitcoiners want in a wallet in one place. You don't have to compromise anymore. Specter Wallet from Crypto Advanced is here. Me and my buddy Nick, we're going to walk through the entire wallet from A to Z. We're going to show you how to connect your node depending on what kind of node setup you have, how to connect all of your favorite hardware wallets in, including air-gapped options like the Cold Card, like the Kobo Vault, and we're going to show you how to plug into some of the coolest and most unique features on this wallet. You're not going to want to miss this video. Let's jump right into Specter Wallet.
Hey everyone, it's Nick here from Bitcoin Magazine, and today we're going to be going over Specter Wallet, a really good multi-sig wallet that's brand new. So on their website, specter.solutions, you can scroll down and see all the stuff that they are working on. But today, me and CK are going to be primarily focused on their desktop wallet. Also, make sure to check out the Developer PGP and verify everything. And also shout out to Crypto Advanced for making this. So we're going to click in over here to Specter Wallet.
Okay, guys. So one of the best thing with Specter Wallet is that you can't use it and break your privacy. Like, they follow a lot of the best practices in order to use Bitcoin right. And one of the keys is that in order to use Specter, you need to connect to your own node. So there's two ways to kind of operate a node. You can operate a node on the machine that you're actually using. So this computer could have Bitcoin Core on it. So you can go to bitcoin.org, download Bitcoin Core from here. You can also go directly to GitHub to do so. And if you use Bitcoin Core directly on the device that you're running Specter Wallet on, Specter will automatically detect Bitcoin Core after it's fully synced and just work with it seamlessly. So it's super easy, and there's just an auto detect option. The other option is to use a full node that is on a remote device. So that would be like a dedicated box like a Hodl or a Mynode. There are a lot of options now in the remote devices. We are going to be using Mynode, but the process to connect Mynode and any other device is the same. The first thing that you need to do is if you go back to Specter's homepage, this is already connected. But if you go over to the settings tab, Nick, now that you're in the settings tab, you can see the auto detect button I discussed. You would have to plug off auto detect, but then plug in your node's username, password, plug in the local IP, and then the appropriate ports for either mainnet, testnet, or regnet. So that is how you would set that up. Again, this is all pretty simple. Every little node box has its nuances on how to set it up, but you would just turn off auto detect and then plug in that information. Mynode in particular, which we are using, why don't we jump back to Mynode, does have an integration. So after you plug in all that stuff manually to Mynode, it does connect directly to your Mynode application, and you can just launch it directly from Mynode. Again, there is a little bit of that setup process to get Specter hooked into your node, depending on how you got it set up. But once you got it going, it is an awesome wallet, and that's what we're going to show you here. So again, you see Specter under beta apps here on Mynode. You just click on Specter, it launches it in your browser. You can also have it on your desktop directly. So there's kind of two options there. But with Mynode, you can have it in your browser. And yeah, let's just walk through how to get it ready to plug in hardware wallets, and then set up your hardware wallets and your multisig on this awesome wallet. Okay, so once we have our full node connected to the Specter wallet, the next step is to go into your hardware wallet preferences and enable the hardware wallet bridge, so that way Specter Wallet can detect the hardware wallets that you're plugging into your computer. So again, you go into the settings, you see your core settings, and then on the very far right, there's the option for HWWI bridge. So once you click into that, there's two things that you need to do. The first step is you have the HWWI bridge URL. You need to copy the exact URL that you see on the screen here into your own HWWI bridge URL. We are going to have this URL in the instructions in the show notes, but you just plug that in. It doesn't matter where you are. It's always the same URL. The next thing that you need to do is you need to whitelist the domain. So this is super easy. You just go into the URL above you inside the search bar here inside your browser, and then you just grab, in this case, it's mynode.local. Whatever it says there. Grab that, copy and paste it into the HWWI bridge settings whitelist list, hit update, and then you should be good to go. And once you do that, it's time to set up our 3 hardware wallets that we're going to be using for this multi-sig demo.
So the first one, we already have a Trezor plugged in to the computer. So all we do is go and hit add new device. We're going to type in the name of our Trezor. We're just going to name it Trezor. You can name it whatever you want. This could be some good OPSEC opportunity right here. But after that, device type, Trezor.
And not to jump in here, but you can see they support every single wallet in here. Why don't you click on the drop-down list again? So they have a ton of different options here. So you can have every flavor of multi-sig you want with any combination of different wallet.
And then after, we're going to go to device management and hit toggle device passphrase. And I'm going to need to type in the PIN. So click on this and type in the PIN. Hit submit. So after we do that, we're going to go down to where it says scan, paste, or load Xpubs. And all we need to do is just scroll down here to scan. Click on that. Oh, wait. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it get over USB.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's that.
So now we're going to go over here to scan, paste, or load Xpubs. We're going to skip all this and go all the way down to load over USB. It says Trezor needs password. We're going to click on that, and we're going to enter in our key phrase. So now it has all the Xpubs loaded, or our Xpub. Let me redo that. So now that it has our Xpub loaded, we can go and hit continue.
So now that you're in this page, you can see that it's loaded a bunch of different wallets onto here. You can see a couple of testnet wallets, a couple of different options on mainnet, including SegWit, nested, single sig, multi-sig. So essentially all of the different signing options are now loaded into Spectre for this Trezor. The next step is we are going to load up a cold card as well as a Ledger Nano S and do a quorum with these 3 popular hardware wallets. So Nick, let's jump into the next wallet.
So now we got the Ledger plugged in. We're going to go up to here and we're going to type in Ledger. Again, you can type in whatever you want, but here we have to hit Ledger. And now we're going to do the Xpubs again. So we're going to go all the way down to the bottom and hit get over USB. And it's going to detect it from our device. There it is. We're going to click on it and it's processing. Extracting public keys. This may take a while. And there we go. It's all in. So we are good to hit continue. And there we go. We just added our second hardware device to this multisig. And now we're going to do our third, which is a cold card. So now we're going to add the cold card to this multisig setup. So we're going to type in cold card, hit device type, cold card, and we are going to scan the Xpubs.
All right, and so you guys know that Cold Card works as a completely air-gapped product. For the sake of this video, we're just using our demo Cold Card over USB. But what you really can do is you can go into your Cold Card, you can go into Settings, Multisig, and then after that, jump over to Export Xpub, and you put it onto a micro SD card, and then you take that micro SD card, plug it into your computer, and it's just gonna have a file, and you can just click on the button of like search a file and plug in that file, and it'll do all of this. So again, for this video, we are just plugging it in, but it is super easy to never plug in your cold card into a computer and do it completely air-gapped with the micro SD card.
And that's it. We successfully added 3 hardware devices to our multisig setup. So now that we have all 3 of the cold card, ledger, and Trezor hooked up to Spectre, we're going to start the actual multisig wallet. So what we're going to do is we're going to send some coins and send them back after we sign all the keys. So we're going to go over here in the top left and hit add new wallet. And we're not going to click on single key wallet. We're going to go to the right and click on multi-signature wallet. And you can also import a wallet from the software, but we're going to click on this. We're going to just leave the name as multisig. We're going to click SegWit.
So the next step is we have to configure the quorum. So if we want to do a multisig, we can do 3 of 3, which means that you always have to have all 3 devices to spend. You can do 2 of 3, so it's like you need 2 devices and you have like a backup device. You could do 1 of 3. Like there's different ways of configuring this. If we added more devices, you could add you could add more wallets too. It could be like a 4 of 5 or a 4 of 7. So Spectre is extremely flexible in how you can configure this stuff, but 2 of 3 is very standard multi-sig, and we are spreading out risk across 3 different vendors. So let's say there's an issue with the ledger, the cold card and the Trezor, hopefully will be diversified, so that way the wallet is still safe. So that's the reason why we're using different manufacturers. So Nick, let's set this guy up. So I think we have to choose the 3 devices that we want to use, right?
Yeah. So let's click on cold card, ledger, and Trezor. And now that all of those are selected, let's say continue. So now we get to this page where it says select the key of devices to use in multisig. All these are already selected. If you try and click on it, nothing happens. So if you go down to the bottom, it says create wallet. So we're going to choose that.
Cool little Pac-Man.
Yeah, I love that.
And bam, here we got a wallet.
So looking at the multisig wallet, you can look at the transactions. Obviously none here already. You can go to receive where it went, and here's the address with the QR code. You can also get a new address, and you can also get a new address and display the address on your device. You can obviously send Bitcoin out of here, and here are your settings.
Yeah, so let's go back to receive. I'm gonna send some Bitcoin to this address, and we're gonna, fund this address, and then show you what it's like to spend from this address to put the funds somewhere else. So gonna send about $25. What is that? That's like 25,000 Satoshis, something like that, or 250,000 Satoshis.
I think a little bit less now that the price went up, but it's around that, yeah.
So I just scanned it, and I'm in a completely different part of the country as where Nick is hosting this. It's so cool doing stuff like this with Bitcoin. Like normally you'd literally need a trusted third party to do this. And I just, essentially this is Nick's wallet. Nick has all the hardware wallets and he's hosting this screen share. And, I just sent him digital gold and he's going to send it back to me.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, I'm literally on the complete opposite side of the country than you.
Yeah. Like distance doesn't matter. Geography doesn't matter. It's pretty freaking cool.
We'd still be able to do this if I was, halfway across the world. So like you can't do that. Try that with traditional banking.
Yeah. Try that with gold.
So while we wait for Christian's transaction to go through, let's go through some of the features here. This one, we can actually edit the label for this wallet. So let's hit edit label, backspace all of it, and type in Bitcoin demo. Then we're going to hit update. And as you can see, it updated our name to Bitcoin demo.
In order to protect your privacy, you need to know where each UTXO, where each coin that's in your wallet came from, and you need to know which one is which. So if you're accepting tips, you probably want to put that in a do not spend, need to mix, label type of a thing. So that way you don't connect your addresses directly in your activity directly to your identity from an address that maybe you have shared publicly. So labeling is a super important feature, and it's kind of sad that it's not a big feature in a lot of wallets. Wasabi, Samurai, Specter, these are all wallets that offer labeling, and I want to see a lot more wallets do it too. I'll hit rescan UTXOs. That button essentially makes it so that you are scanning every single UTXO that's in this multisig wallet. The next thing is export to device. So there's an export to cold card file. So if you were using the cold card in an air-gapped mode, you'd need to, after you created the quorum, you'd have to send this file back to the cold card so the cold card knows about the address. For us, because we're plugging in the cold card, we don't have to do that because the wallet is going to tell the cold card the information when it interacts with the cold card directly through USB. But if it was air gapped, you'd have to actually export it so that way the cold card even knows what you're talking about. So this wallet, the only way that you can recreate this wallet is to have all three of these devices together. So if you think of it as a map to the treasure, if you have this wallet already loaded on your computer and it has all the information in it, the computer has the map to find the Bitcoin that need to be signed, and therefore you can use two devices to sign it, to sign for it. But if for whatever reason you lose the wallet on the computer and you lose one of these devices, you effectively lose the map to get to your Bitcoin inside of the world of cryptography. So in order to create a backup and protect from that happening, you would hit this export wallet software button. You would take that file. You probably should encrypt it and then put it on a couple of different drives in order to kind of have backups of, these three devices put together to create a Bitcoin wallet. Does that make sense, Nick?
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so it's kind of complicated, but essentially, there's only two ways to recreate this wallet. It's with this file that you download, or it's with plugging in these three devices in this very specific order in order to recreate the exact same wallet, because these three devices are coming back together. All right, let's see if we got some funds in our wallet. It's so cool to see the Bitcoin come in here because we know that this Bitcoin is being verified by the node that is in our office. This is being verified by the software that we are running, and the Bitcoin that I sent, it's completely trustless. And it's so cool seeing it appear there, seeing our node recognize the Bitcoin and us having the keys in order to spend it. I feel like once you get to using Spectrum, once you get to this level of Bitcoin, you are truly using Bitcoin, and it's so cool.
We should run the numbers because you just said we were running the numbers in our office node. So if you click
Yeah.
up here in the top left where Bitcoin Core is, it'll bring down this screen right here, and it'll show you the network, Bitcoin Core version, connection count, difficulty, etc., etc. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can hit Run the Numbers, and it's going to run the numbers.
So yeah, Nick, like, why don't you tell the listeners why running the numbers is so core and important to Bitcoin?
Running the numbers is important because you yourself can verify the exact amount of total supply of Bitcoin out there with everyone else's node, and you're going to roughly get the same amount or the same amount with everyone else's node. You can't do that on other cryptocurrencies, as been proven time and time again. And having a strong cap of 21 million is super important.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, if just compare and contrast like the dollar system and the gold system, like how easy is it to run the numbers on the dollar? How easy is it to run the numbers on gold? I think it's impossible really on both. And with Bitcoin, you not only run the numbers on your Bitcoin, like our node is doing, but you run the numbers on everyone else's Bitcoin, and everyone else is doing that. Like, that is peak security. And Spectre makes it super easy. Just one button, boom, run the numbers. You no longer even have to go into the command line in order to, essentially audit everyone's Bitcoins in the whole wide world.
And when you run the numbers yourself, you don't trust anyone else to run the numbers for you. You see everything yourself. So now, as you can see, it has finished running the numbers. And here at the bottom, right above run the numbers, it says Bitcoin total supply of 18,493,242.12846213. And that's a very useful feature on Specter Wallet, I mean. But now we're going to transition into, we're going to hit cancel, and we're going to send this Bitcoin out of Specter Wallet and back to CK. So now we have the 220K sats from CK in our wallet. We're going to send it back to him. So we're going to go up here and click on send. So now after we click on send, that brings us to this page where we create our transaction, and we can see our available funds of 0.0022 Bitcoin, which is 220K sats. And we're going to put the address in here and just copy and paste it. This address label is optional, but it is very good for remembering what exact transactions you send and receive. So we're just going to type in Bitcoin demo. And before we put in the amount, we're going to go down here to the bottom and hit advanced on the down arrow. And we're going to click on this box, which says subtract fees from the amount. And then we're going to go to fees. We're not going to do dynamic. We're going to click manual, and we're going to send a 1 sat per byte transaction like a Chad.
Fees are still pretty cheap right now, so it's always good to go check the mempool, but right now it makes sense for us to, essentially pay the minimum amount to send this transaction.
So we're going to go back up here to amount and type in the amount of Bitcoin we were sending, 220K sats. And then we're going to go all the way down to the bottom and click create unsigned transaction. So now we're brought to this page where it says sending the correct amount of Bitcoin to Bitcoin demo, and it needs 2 signatures. So we're going to go down here and we're going to click on a signed transaction with your, and we're going to click cold card for our first. Normally, I would recommend doing this via an SD card, but for today's video, we're just going to do it with a USB since we're using a demo code card. So we're going to click sign via USB. Our device is already plugged in. It recognized it. We click on code card. It's processing, signing the transaction, and it's going to have us confirm it on our code card.
And this part is really important. I've stressed this in past videos, but whenever you're doing any of these transactions, you need to confirm everything on the device of the hardware wallet. You can just assume that whatever's happening on your computer could be compromised. And the whole point of these hardware wallets is that they're going to show you authentic information. So whatever's on the hardware device is quote unquote truth, and that's what you need to be basing all of your transactions off of.
And now on the cold card, I didn't click anything special. It just popped up. It says wallet name PSBT2 of 3. And as I scroll down, there's some more information on it, just saying it needs 2 of the 3 possible signatures for this. So it says press 1 to see extended public key, OK to approve, and X to cancel. So we're going to hit OK. It's saving. It says OK to send. Yes, it's OK to send. So now we have our cold card complete with the little check mark. We're going to go to the next one, which is our ledger. We're going to click on ledger and sign via USB. Now it's detected it, and we're going to click on ledger. And it's going to process it, and something should pop up on my ledger in just a moment. Yep. On my ledger, I see amount with the amount of Bitcoin and the address. So I'm going to click on the check mark. The transaction is ready to broadcast. And we are going to, let's real quick, we can either send the transaction, send via blockstream.info, save as pending, or copy the raw transaction. But for today's video, we are just going to hit send transaction. And we have just successfully sent Bitcoin back to CK using the 2 of 3 multisig on Specter Wallet.
Yeah, and I know you sent it through our node, but I think one of the coolest features of Spectre is the send through Blockstream option. And the reason why you do this is for privacy reasons. If you send it through Blockstream's node as the first node, like that is that's like a public node that a lot of people use. So effectively, someone who's using chain analysis won't know that it's coming from you in particular because it's coming from a very public node.
So that's it for this review. Thank you all for watching, especially if you made it here to the end of this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, as well as follow me and CK on Twitter at NickCan'tMine and at CK_snarks. Also follow Bitcoin Magazine at Bitcoin Magazine on Twitter and all of our other socials as well. Also, huge shout out to Stefan, the CTO of Crypto Advance, and Ben Kaufman, who is a contributor to this Spectre desktop wallet, for making this wallet.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace.